Well, welcome back to Robocraft. I wasn't sure if I was going to be making many videos of this, that's why I made a first taste, but it seems that there is some interest in at least a video or two showing some building specifically, which I was quite surprised by. It's certainly one of the more enjoyable parts for me, but I thought it would be a little bit boring to watch, to be perfectly honest. But apparently no. Apparently there are at least as many people who enjoy watching me put these things together as enjoy watching me take them apart by getting shot at. Right, we are in day one. First taste flyer is no more, because this is going to be a video showing how to make flyers specifically. Now, before I begin really with flyers per se, I'm going to cover the two different ways that you can have a bot be unanchored from the earth. And they are flyers, which use thrusters, and floaters, or hovers if you will, that use hover blades. Now, an important distinction should be made between these. You can mix them to get a flyer hover combo, but if you make a purebred, if you will, that is either entirely made of thrusters or entirely made of hover blades, then it's going to be very, very different the way that you're going to control it. First and foremost, I guess, we should get out of the way the fact that hovers, by themselves, will never really make you fly. They can help you get off the ground and will do their best to keep you a certain distance off the ground at all times, but they won't really be able to get you to take off. Actually, I've built that wrong. Let me build that slightly differently. There we go. We want to keep things symmetrical. It's even more important with a hover, or a flyer for that matter, to keep things perfectly balanced. Ah, damn. Alright, there we go. Now, what I've made is a simple frame. We're going to attach some hover blades to it, because I'm going to cover hover blades first. Now, there are different types, and the different types and different levels, I'll go to the tech tree because it shows it a little bit better. The different types and different levels pretty much only affect speed. From what I've seen of hover blades, so I've only gone as far as this, I haven't even made it into the tier 3 hover blades. Hover blades will always, no matter what their level is, try to keep you a certain distance off the ground. The main difference between them is how much weight they can lift and how fast they can move when you're in the air. So for example, I've got 2 hover blade level 2s and 4 hoverblade level 1 S types and 4 hoverblade 1s. So we're going to pop down the 4 hoverblade 1s. These are the weakest, earliest ones you can get. And this will probably be enough to keep this frame off the ground. Let me go ahead and grab a pilot seat and pop that there. And quickly jump into the practice arena. Now, it's very important to keep things balanced. If you don't balance the hover blades, then your thing is going to go all over the place. But as you can see, we're nice and off the ground, and if you've built it in a symmetrical way like this, then turning is very easy. You'll just pivot on the spot. Now, there is one problem with hover blades. You can use a shift and space to hover up and down to lower yourself. You can be really close to the ground if you really want to, do a little bit of a flyby, or you can be a little bit higher. Now, the more hover blades you have, the closer to this maximum distance from the ground you can get, from what I've seen. I could be wrong, and perhaps with lots and lots of really high-powered hover blades, you would be able to rise a little bit higher, but typically I've never seen it go higher than this. And it'll only really get this high if you have enough hover blades to carry your weight. The closer to your sort of weight allowance you get, the lower down or the slower you'll ascend and descend when you're trying to move. Now, this is one of the big problems with hover blades, is they always try to keep you close to the ground. So when there's no ground there, they get very, very confused, as I'm about to show you. And we're off. And now we're very confused, and now we're upside down. If you're dropping much further than that, it gets really bizarre, and you will be wigging out through the sky. I think I even had a small clip of someone doing that in the outro of the last video. Word to the wise, my controls are reversed right now. Left is right and right is left. I think up is still up and down is still down. Yes, it is. Ow, my head. Okay, that's enough of that. But that is basically hovers in a nutshell. The more you add, the more weight you can carry. The higher tier you add, the faster you can move. They're much like wheels in that sense. You can have wheels that can steer that are a low tier and wheels that can drive that are a very high tier, and you will still get the movement bonus. For example, if I were to anchor some of these on, maybe at the back, like so, and then we'll stick some of these on at the front. I'm not going to actually make a fighting robot out of this. Or if I do, it'll be very, very flimsy, just to show how badly, when these things get shot, that your bot breaks. Let's add some extra weight to it. I'll just add some armor on the top. Not that I really want to protect these things from being shot, really. But, you know. I can't help it. If I'm making a bot, I've got to at least kind of do something with it. At least sort of make it viable. We can stick some guns on these platforms then as well. But this will probably still fly. I've got an awful lot of lift between all of the hover blades that I put on it, so we're probably not going to have any issue. Oh no, really? Have I run out of what cubes? My goodness, so I have. Wow. That kind of throws things up. These heavy cubes actually come in quite handy for hovers that I found. Well, that does kind of scupper our plans. I will dial those back a little bit. I'll just put some sides to the pilot seat. And that will be that. There we go. And I'll also add a couple of these. Just a little bit of embellishment. Just a tiny, tiny bit of embellishment. Again, I can't help it. Don't blame me. Blame the system for giving me the opportunity to add embellishment. There we go. Now really what I'm doing here is basically just trying to add a little bit of extra weight so I can demonstrate. I'm hoping that this will actually start to slow the climbing ability of the hover just a little bit. But again, there are an awful lot of blades here, so it might not matter. There we go. And there. Right, we'll stick some guns on. And then I'll quickly practice with it, just to make sure that it actually does fly. Because if it doesn't, that would be embarrassing. We'll stick... Can I put them on there? Yes, I can. Fantastic. Now, something I've learned with lasers, thanks to a comment left on the last video, is that whilst lasers do increase their rate of fire the more you add, it only goes up to 6. Once you've got 6 lasers on there, any more that you add will actually decrease its rate of fire. Which is good to know. Okay, that would put me in rank 2, and that's probably not where we want to be. How many of those have I got? I've got 2 of those. One there and one there. Okay, that gives us 6 lasers. Now, the front is heavier than the back. And that will actually play into this a little bit. But with this many hover blades, it might not be too bad. Let's see. No, you do notice that the front rises a little bit slower than the back. But on the whole, this isn't too bad. That could also have a lot to do with the fact that the back has got the much more powerful hover blades, as well as being lighter. But we should be able to take him out. There we go. Die! Right, that's good enough. Now we're going to take this into a fight, and we're going to get utterly destroyed. I'm afraid. So, the main thing that I want to show is just how much control you lose as you lose the symmetry between the hover blades. So let's just throw ourselves into a tier 1 fight. There are 31 bots ready. Oh, this is going to be destroyed so easily. I need a sip of tea to steady my nerves at how badly I'm about to be humiliated. This is a decent map for a hover, though. There's quite a lot of open ground to move across. And let's go. Oops, I've forgotten the #1 thing you should do in any multiplayer game. Be polite. That's right. Can't call yourself dapper if you aren't polite to your enemies. Right. Now, nice thing about hover is I don't have to worry about those. I can just hover over them. Glories of being unanchored, untethered to the earth. You have to go around, little peon man. My lord, you're fast. Now, you can put thrusters on, and I believe that would make a difference to this, which they don't to wheels. If you've got wheels, then adding thrusters, the wheels more or less override them if you've got drive wheels. Oh no! No! I'm downed. I'm doomed. I've not got enough thrusters anymore. I mean hover blades. Though I did lose them all a little bit faster than I was expecting there. Probably shouldn't have gone right into the middle of that. But that does give me an opportunity to show you the repairing. I love that repairing animation. It's somehow really pleasing to the eye. I like just watching my robot being put back together, even though it's a measure of how badly I derped with how much damage needs to be put back together. But someone did, we're going to jump into another fight with this bot. Someone did point out that they were a little bit concerned about the idea of the repair time. They thought that that might be really annoying. I've had a robot reduced just to the pilot seat before, much larger robots than this, and at most they've taken 15 seconds to repair. For me, as far as I've seen so far, like tier 3 and 4, it's just a pleasant little repair animation. Oh dear. I thought I was going to crash here. I didn't know if I had enough ground clearance. Let's go up a little bit more. We definitely have enough ground clearance now. Now, the nice thing with hovers, another thing, is if we were on an ice map, that would have no effect on a hover whatsoever. You could just happily glide over the ice whilst everyone else was slipping and sliding and losing control. We're not on an ice map, so that advantage is somewhat lost. But we're going to sneak around and see if I can find a couple of stragglers by themselves, so I can have a little bit less of a chaotic engagement, and we can actually see how much damage is done. Nice leisurely... Wow, it's not really a stroll. We haven't got legs. Nice leisurely float through the canyon. Who's that? Opal Meister. Oh dear. Alda something. Ow. Alda Vlad. Alda Vlad, come back here. I wish to fight you. I believe I've lost some of my thrusters. No, maybe not. I probably will soon. Come on, I'm just right here. Oh man, really? Are all of you cowards? Oh no, I have lost. No, I haven't lost one. Damn it. All that excitement for nothing. Well, I wasn't expecting this to be as effective as it is, but it is actually not a bad little floater for doing damage, but I think a large amount of it is I seem to have a collection of allies nearby that are doing enormous amounts of damage to everything that is attacking me. Alright, let's get up there, see if we can find a fight. I think there's still probably someone there, maybe, but I doubt they're going to last very long. My entire team are converging on Cabosu 98. And Cabosu 98 is no more. Oh well. You put up a brave fight, Cabosu. Well done. Okay, well that's enough hovering. Take my word for it. If you lose symmetry with the hover blades, it really starts to big out. You saw a little bit of that for an instant before I was actually destroyed with the last bot, but now it is going to be onto flyers, proper flyers this time. Now, if you hold down right mouse button, you will delete blocks a little bit faster, something that took me a while to learn. I was sat there for ages, meticulously deleting each block with each click. Wasn't good. Now, for a flyer, much like the hover really, you don't have to do this, but I find it much, much easier to build if you create a platform high up. So we'll just do this, and now we'll start from up here. Now, the way I build flyers is usually fairly compact. With large enough thrusters, you can make an enormous ship. You can actually make them look like planes. I've seen people do it, and they look fantastic. I've also seen people make enormous Godzilla robots. Not as fantastic as they look, but, well, you know, form before function, I suppose. Now, I haven't got a very large selection of thrusters. I've got some reasonable ones, and we're going to put the more powerful ones on the tail. I tried to keep all of the thrusters that are actually going to give me forward thrust around the same sort of level, moving along this line. Now, I'll add another 2 as well to the front. That should prevent me from dipping too much. Now, with that in place, I'm going to sink the actual cockpit down a little bit. I prefer to have the cockpit lower, or rather the sort of center point of the cockpit around about the same level as the thrusters. Now, where are you? There we go. And we'll put you there, a little bit further back. Right. Now, problem with those thrusters is they're actually fairly large. They've got a massive hitbox, so I need to move those back just a tiny bit. About there, so I can build armor up around the cockpit. It's very important with the flyer, because I'm going to be showing everyone this flyer's underbelly, and if they can shoot the parts that are connecting the cockpit to the rest of the bot, even if nothing else has taken damage, the bot will break. So you really, really want to properly armor that part. Ah, damn it, I'm out of blocks. Right, I think I'm going to have to go and demolish my current tank that I've been playing with. I'm going to be sad to see you go, Rover. It took me a very long time to build you, and you're actually remarkably effective. Surprise, surprise, I never knew that tanks would be as good as they are, but it seems that the amount of armor you can place on them really helps. As you can see, I hope this sound isn't too bad, but this thing is basically a tank, literally covered in armor. Oh, it's going to take me so much longer to put this together than it is taking me to take it apart. The things I do for you. Right, there we go. Rover is gone. Damn it, Rover. I miss you already. Right, let's continue to build this up then. Now, we've got to try and make sure it's all balanced on all sides. There we go. And there we are. Okay. Now, with a flyer, you've got 2 options for weapons. You can either put the weapons on the sides, or you can put the weapons underneath. Now, there is a bit of a risk with putting it underneath, is that you're basically encouraging people to attack the vulnerable part underneath your cockpit. But there are certain benefits to that, because you can aim really well, but we'll have a look at that in a moment. The first thing you need to do with a flyer, to actually make it fly, well, there are 2 ways. If you've got really powerful thrusters, you can just slap those on the back and have thrusters on the front to give you lift, so that you can actually take off. In fact, I'll quickly show you roughly what you would need to do. It won't work for this, because I do not have enough thrust. I can say that with certainty, but I'll actually stick these on like this, and we'll see how we do. I don't have enough forward thrust to make this work, but we'll I'll give you an idea. Right, so the idea would be you'd have an enormous amount of thrust. Oh wow, this is a gymnastic little bot. But I haven't got enough forward thrust to keep me moving up. Oh, no, I've kind of, no. But you get the idea. I'm going to do that flip again. Wahoo! Oh, I'm on my side now. I'm doomed. I'm just going to spin on the floor. That didn't last very long. But if you've got really, really powerful thrusters on the back, you can make that work. And it can be quite effective. But what we're going for is just for forward thrust from these 2. Our lift is mostly going to be coming from helium tanks. Now again, each one of these provides about 7.5 lift. Each one of these costs about 5. So with 2 of these, with 2 of these you can lift 3 of those blocks. Now you can puzzle it out and actually just crunch the numbers to get your lift exact. I'm not going to do that. I've just found it easier to just add them until it works. Also, you don't generally get the weights on the guns or any of the thrusters or anything like that, so it's actually a little bit hard. Now, since I have taken apart my rover, I've got a very powerful gun that I can add now that I only recently unlocked, or rather bought. That is a tier 3 weapon right there. It's an S-type tier 3 weapon, no less. Do we have a tier 2 front gun? Yes, we do, but we can't place it. That is a shame. It's probably messing up the arcs somewhere else. I could lower that one more to have that fit. Oh, I could fit it on the front. But the thing is, I don't actually use the front that much. So I don't think that would really be helpful. Would this fit there? No, of course it wouldn't. That'd be too much to ask for. How many of those have I got? I've got 2, so I could have one on the side and one on the other side. Now that is pretty much all of the weight that I'm going to be able to carry. Well, I suppose I could add a few more if I can find room for them. Have one there, for example. These could be for dogfighting. Primarily fighting with other flyers, because you will get that, especially as a laser flyer. Now, you can make a plasma flyer, and maybe I will make another video to that effect, but they're a little bit more complex to build. You've got to basically make the flyer flip upside down, or make a very large forward platform upon which to place the plasmas, because the plasmas only ever go on the top of the flyer, not on the sides or the bottom. You can't place them there. So you need some way of either making the top become the bottom, or just having a very large open platform, which is at risk of people just shooting it, basically. Right, now we need maneuvering thrusters. Can we place these? No, we can't. That is a shame. Can I place them there? No. Damn. Okay, it seems that these guns are interfering with that a little bit. Actually, it's probably that I'm using the wrong ones. Those higher tier thrusters have more of a hitbox, so you really want the lower tier ones. There we go, that actually works. And we'll place one there and one there for steering. Right, I very much doubt I have enough lift on this, but we'll see if it works. Now, we've got enough thrust going forward. Oh, wow. Okay, we've got way too much lift, apparently. Now, the thrusters on the side, very slow to turn. The problem with helium blocks is that they add enormous amounts of drag to the robot. So the more helium blocks you add, the less sleek and controllable your bot will become. But we can get rid of quite a lot of those. Let's get rid of a lot, and we'll see how that works. We probably also want more lift at the front, since that's where we've got the majority of our actual weight. So let's see about putting 2 there, and we'll see how that flies. Now, the big thing with being very small and compact is when you're high up... no, we haven't got enough lift now. It can kind of get there, but not quite. And we'll just drag along the floor. We need a little bit more at the front. Is when you're high up, you're much harder to hit. Especially if someone has got a lot of lasers, because the laser will be firing all over the place. That I've noticed, because they tend not to place them in very sensible positions for them to be able to target a small point. So, let's see. Is this enough? It might be. It might be too much, though. I've got a funny feeling this is like a helium block too many. Am I going to be lifting front first? Oh, no. Almost balanced, actually. And my thrusters, however, push me down. That's not good. I need a little bit more lift then. And that's the problem, is that because the front is just slightly lower, whenever my rear thrusters engage, it's going to drive me into the ground. So the problem is finding a convenient position to place one more helium block. The alternative, of course, is to use thrusters to control that. Now, I can have... I prefer to have downward thrusters in the middle. That'll help me descend a little bit faster, but these ones I could have... well, that's a little bit... I could have one literally at the nose, because it seems we only need a little bit of lift. But the problem with this is if I lose that one thruster, I'm just going to constantly be going down, which is a bit of a problem. But let's see how that works. This is not a very good flyer, if you haven't been able to guess. I'm just throwing it together. Right, we still have that problem there, but with a little bit of thrust from the front, oh, we actually do seem to be rising, alright. But we do handle like a tub of jelly, because all of our steering power is coming from the bottom, so the top is just lagging behind. Not a good design at all. We need to address this, because that is just not going to be useful in a fight. Let's see. If we got rid of that and we'll place another one above it, we'll just add a little bit of extra turning power. That can remain there. But now we've taken lift from the front. If we place this... we're making a very big target for anyone who wants to attack us now. But let's see how that has affected the balance. With the flyer, it is 80% practice. That is coming to the practice arena to see whether it is going to work. And that is not going to work at all. But it should turn a little bit better now, since the balance of the turning is at the top and the bottom. We're not going to be too top heavy for turning around. But we definitely need a little bit more lift on the front. Okay, we'll put a block there and a block there. And we'll see if this will work. Though, oh my god, this looks ugly. How can I possibly send this out? I would be ashamed of it. Well, that isn't even better. I'm not sure I approve of this. Well, let's see if this actually works, and then we can worry about adding some more armor. No, still way too top heavy, and this problem is going to increase. Perhaps... okay, what we can do is we can remove one of the lasers on the front, on the nose. Right. This is just way too tall. Let's get rid of that and get rid of that. And we'll instead add some lift there. Now let's see if that actually rises properly. And then we'll replace the gun a little bit closer to the middle. Sorry about that. It's not too bad. Oh my goodness. It seesaws a bit, but it turns a bit better. Not perfect yet. Well, not perfect at all, really. If I remove that block, that lift block from the back, it probably would rise in balance, but the gun would throw that out again. That block there. If I remove that, it probably would rise. But if we place another block there and replace the top laser... how many of these have I got? I've got 5 of these? Wow. Well, we may as well go for... I don't know. Going for tier 3. That comes with its own set of problems. And that laser really is only going to be good for shooting other flyers, so I think we're going to avoid that right now. No, that'll put us in tier 3 as well. Let's use this one then. Will that keep us in tier 2? Yes, it will. Fantastic. In fact, at this point, we could probably have one on either side. There we go. So that's our... wow. No, actually, that is our 6 lasers. We've got some dogfighting capability, but whether this is going to have completely thrown out our balance remains to be seen. Ooh, I think we've got something. It's got a very slight downward pull, but nothing that our front thruster can't fix. And as you can see, a fair bit of firepower too. Okay, I think this ugly duckling is ready. Oh, all of its lift is basically just on show. A lucky shot would completely throw out the balance of this craft and cause it to plummet. Really, if this was something I was seriously playing with, I would probably have armor all around this helium. In fact, I might. Just to try and help a little bit. Let's pop some armor there as well. Armor there. In fact, that doesn't look very good. Let's do that instead. There we go. And some more at the front. Now the sides, unfortunately, not a lot I can do about that. Actually, no. Looks like I can. Now, I am just throwing these on there just to cover up the helium as best I can at the moment. This, you could make this look a lot better if you spent some time on it. But that actually isn't too bad at this point. The rear helium... Oh no, we can do that as well. Oh, that's fantastic. That works out well. Still leaves a bit to be desired, but this will have thrown out the balance, so I'm going to need to test that. But it will at least be a little bit more practical in a fight. Now, let's hope that this hasn't thrown the balance out too badly. I think it will. We added a lot of armor to the front. Oh, we added so much armor it can't lift. Well, damn. Okay, well, I might take all the armor off the top layers then. Since the only real threat from there is going to be flyers themselves, so we'll take this armor away and just leave the downward-facing armor. In fact, we'll add a little bit more there. And hopefully that will address some of the lift issues. In fact, we would then be able to add a little bit more. Let me see, how much... I think I've added much more armor around the middle than I have around the back or the front. We'll see if that helps. Hopefully it does. One way you can build flyers is just to have a central column, and then everything around that central column. Wow. We can barely lift at all. I need a little bit more at the front, I think. But... under its own power, this will not actually lift, but with thrusters, it shouldn't be too bad. Now, the problem with the front thruster is it's fighting against the helium in order to lift the bot. That's why it keeps kind of seesawing back and forth. Because when it lifts the nose, the helium at the back tries to fight against it in order to rise again. So we don't really want to have to rely on that too much. Actually, how about we place it by here and there? Oh no! I've run out of helium blocks. Well, that's annoying. Let's buy some more. Not too pricey, especially if you're fighting in Tier 2 or Tier 3 territory, which we now are. Ah, damn it. I should have realized that would happen. Well, actually, no. We'll pull back some of the armor in order to try and bring us back down to Tier 2. Don't need that embellishment there. Did I take it all from that side? Yes, I did. Okay. Let's get rid of some of this then at the back. And we're probably not going to need as much at the front. Damn, it really did take us over just by a tiny amount. Must have been right on the edge. There we go. Now, let's see if this is still balanced. And I will take a sip of tea. No! We are still too heavy. Well, damn. Looks like we're heavier at the front than at the back. Right, one helium tank should fix that, I hope. Though perhaps I will have to return the helium tanks around the back as well. We'll test it first. Is this going to work now? Barely. It is really slow. And it wants to dive downwards. But if I just keep applying a little bit of upward thrust, we should be able to climb. Okay, well, other than adding some... oh, actually, yeah, we could add a little bit of additional upward thrust right at the nose. But I think we're ready to go. I do apologize. But we're back into Tier 3 territory. Damn ya! Okay. I don't think we're going to be able to add that little bit at the front. In fact, we'll just strip all the armor off and see what that does. That's so annoying. I should just go for Tier 3, I suppose, but I would be against people who are staggeringly well armored at that point. Well, at the very least, we are rising a little bit faster now. Right, okay. Well, the alternative would be to use those 2 front thrusters for lift, but no, this is good enough. Let's take this out then and see how well it does in Tier 2. Right. How many are waiting? There are 22 bots ready for Tier 2, so this probably shouldn't take us too long. It's 25 average wait. But we got in there much faster. Fantastic. Okay, is there anyone I recognize? I don't believe. No, doesn't look like any names I recognize. There we are. Right, we are ready. Up, up, and away. Kind of. Kind of up, and then a little bit down. Up, down. Oh, my goodness. This actually does handle like a tub of blancmange. Oh, no. Actually, we've got a stable lift now. Oh, fantastic. We've found that magical position. That fantastic angle. There we go. Nice and high. Oh, hello. My goodness. Maddie doll. Alright. Now, are there any enemy flyers? We actually got quite a few of our guys here. That's good. Is Maddie doll a plasma flyer? Where is Maddie doll? Damn it. There we are. Yes, Maddie doll is a plasma flyer. Maddie doll is flying upside down, which would explain the slight awkwardness of their controls. Now, there are a lot of lasers down there. Oh well, we've armored the middle of this thing for a reason. However, it's going to take us a while to get down there. Ah, I should have had a little bit more downward thrust. Though it looks like our plasma flyers are doing a phenomenal job. That is a little bit cheesy, honestly, the plasma flyers. But it's fantastically effective. Now, I've been thinking of making a flyer that basically has a large ring, central ring, just hollowed out that you can see through, so that I could actually aim my guns better. But in a patch that's coming soon, that problem won't be there anymore, so it's not really that much of an issue. Okay. We're actually hitting him, kind of, maybe. Yes, we are. Get away from that. Uh-oh. Trying to hit me back. I didn't get a single kill. Oh, that sucks. Oh well. Let's go ahead and sink and take part in the capture of this base. I usually don't have any guns on the top, though we didn't get to see them in use. Oh, actually, we might be here. They would be really useful for... Oh, I got him. Yay. They would be really useful against enemy flyers, which for a plasma flyer are the worst types of craft, because they really don't have any sort of air-to-air combat potential. There we go. Our ugly duckling, well, it didn't become a swan, it's still an ugly duckling, but it's an ugly duckling that can actually kill other people, which has got to count for something. But that is it for this video. It's gone a little bit over, but I wanted to actually get one fight out of the way. So you've seen more or less the idea behind building a flyer, the sort of central line of thrust to prevent yourself from dipping down or climbing too sharply. Some turning potential. I usually build those towards the nose. The same with the lift, honestly, because I'm pushing from the back, so I want to do my steering with the nose. But you could build it in a different way. And as I said, you can make hybrids with hover blades and thrusters, but typically I find them incredibly hard to balance. And the hover blades are constantly fighting against the thrusters once you're actually far enough away from the floor that they're trying to balance it against the floor, which isn't there anymore. But with all that said and done, I do hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you will be joining me for the next. But until then, and as always, do take care. And try not to kill me if you see me. Or if you do, at least say good luck, have fun first. Because I seem to be the only one doing it so far. It's very rude.